Hello, this is Paul Yoder, Field Agronomist for Pioneer. In today's video, I'm going to show you a representative field of what I'm seeing within the district and in other areas. This field just happens to be corn, but I'm also seeing it in soybeans where that May 25th to the 28th time frame, give or take, is probably giving us this year our most issues when it comes to overall crop performance. It's not necessarily always the case. If you had well-drained soil, during that time frame, I'm finding that those crops are usually fairly good. However, where we maybe didn't have the drainage, that's probably where we're seeing the biggest effect, which to me, I believe is heavily weather related. Time of planting was probably saturated soils and a lot of rain to follow. But what I'm finding in our fields that I want to show you today is this particular field has a final stand of around 34,000, which again is fairly normal from what we were planting down this area. As you can see, the planting spacing is kind of where you'd want it to be. I see nothing wrong with that. But what I am finding in a lot of cases is we have smaller ears, or in some cases zippered ears. In this case, you can see that the embryos of the actual kernels never did really even develop to even be pollinated. I'm seeing in some cases bouquet ears. I'm also seeing in cases where you may have a small ear, and like I say, I'm even seeing some fields where there was no ear development at all within the plant. But in a lot of cases, if you come down from what I'm calling the ground level, but going up to the first node, so you got 1, 2, 3, that third node, I'm seeing a fair amount of ears that are being developed there, which is very unusual. So again, 1, 2, 3. So you have an ear, same for this one. This particular plant just happens to have bouquet ears. I'm also seeing, and it doesn't seem to matter if it's a field that looks bad or if the farmer has concern with performance, but about halfway up the ear, if you're pulling back a lot of husk, I'm seeing a lot of that pinched ears. It almost looks like you stuck a rubber band around it at early stages. Here's another ear that's representative of what I'm kind of talking about. A lot of activity going on this particular ear, where you can just see where it looks like almost 3 spots where it has been pinched in. So that tells me that something was going on within this crop during the ear development at that V6 to V8 stage. I'm also noticing that the node length is severely reduced during that V4 to V6 stage. So here you can kind of see a couple of nodes down. You got basically 5 inches. Here again, you've got about 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches up to the ear, where most nodes are 8 to 10 in normal development. I'm also noticing that in a lot of cases of these fields, during that plant time, unfortunately, again, we had no choice given the year, but a lot of the plants have pretty severe compaction, and a lot of the nutrients are being taken up in about that first 1.5 to 2 inches of that plant, of the root system. So again, you can kind of see that it's just pretty hard. I did dig up a fair amount of roots, and as you can see, they're fairly flat. A lot of root mass, fibrous roots at the top, probably 1/2 inch to 1 inch of the soil line. And again, basically this plant just starved and really wasn't able to get to the nitrogen or the other nutrients that it needed to remain healthy, which is probably why we're seeing some stalk rots, as well as putting on a nice, healthy, and developing ear. So hopefully this video has been of use, and please take care and be safe.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.